Hello, I'm Nola and welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing a love scope for the sign of Virgo. So welcome all you Virgos out there. I use the Kipper deck and I do the reading in two parts. The first part being for the singles and then the second part being for those that are already in committed relationships. This is non-binary readings and also they are for entertainment purposes only. And then I do the collective or the combined cards for the sign of Virgo. And so I have already shuffled and pulled the cards, and I'm going to tell you what I have. But for this particular reading, I had to pull a clarification card. Normally, if you go back and you look at all of the other readings, it's only a 2-card pull. But for Virgo, this was a bit of a hard reading, not hard in the way of being difficult for me, a little harsh is the word that I should be using. And so Spirit led me and my intuition led me to get a clarifier. This particular reading really needed a clarifier. So without further ado, let's begin. The 3 cards that I pulled were number 32, which is despair. There you go. And then the second card that I pulled was number 37, which happens to be poverty. And I thought, boy, oh boy, this is not looking good. So then I went and I pulled a clarifying card, and the number that I pulled was pathway. I always try to be true to what my spirit is telling me, what spirit is telling me, and I follow that intuition. So let's get into the first card that I pulled, which is despair. And right away, what I get from this, that many Virgos out there, Virgo singles, may be feeling alone or abandoned or emotionally drained, particularly when it comes to love and love relationships. And then to get despair and poverty together suggests a deep feeling of lack, whether it's lack of self-worth, which I really think it is, to be very honest with you, lack of self-worth, low self-esteem, emotional insecurity, or hope in love itself. Okay? And some of you may be recovering at this point from a major heartbreak, a devastating disappointment, and also many others could be feeling feelings of unappreciation and feeling unseen and unheard. Okay, so we're going to dig a little deeper and see what else we come to. However, I must tell you that the pathway or the pathway card changes everything. Okay? Pathway card changes everything. Virgo, it reminds you that healing takes time and love is not out of reach. It's simply unfolding at a slower pace for you. And you are definitely on a journey of transformation. And every hardship that you've suffered in the area of love has been guiding you towards something more aligned with your soul. And so the key message or takeaway here would be trust the process, to trust the process, give it time. And if you have been feeling unworthy of love, now is the time to build your self-worth. And we're going to unpack this a little bit. What does it mean to rebuild your self-worth, you may ask? You may want to isolate for a little bit. Now you're going to tell me I'm already in isolation. Not that kind of isolation. By isolating, I mean taking time for you, taking time to go within. The very same gifts that I have and intuition, you have them too. For intuition is simply the voice of the creator within you. God, whatever you choose to call but that creator, or the being that created all of us, Allah, Gaia, Buddha, whatever you choose to call that being. Okay? So you want to take time to recalibrate yourself, to reset yourself, to think about what is truly important to you in a relationship moving forward. What can you look at from your past mistakes or transgressions as you may see them, and treat yourself with a little more empathy and understanding, and unpack this. It might be really painful for you to unpack, but I suggest that you unpack this one little thing at a time, and you take the lessons that you needed. Only take what you needed. Take what you learned about yourself, about people, about other people, about being in love relationships, about giving too much or not giving enough, about opening up and trusting, all of those things. Examine those things, and maybe even consider going for some therapy to help you through, to rediscover who you are, or to recreate who you are. Okay? So if you have been feeling unworthy of love, now is the time to rebuild your self-worth. Maybe you've poured your life into your partner and your children, and you were recently divorced or separated, and you're asking, who the hell am I? Okay, you could be asking yourself that question. If I asked you, what color do you like, you may not even be able to tell me that. Or if I ask you the question, what is your favorite meal to eat? You may not be able to tell me that, simply because as caregivers and wives and husbands and so on, we pour our lives into our families. When we go shopping, we put things in the carts for our children and our husbands first. And then what we like is kind of at the bottom of the barrel. So you have to trust the process of rebuilding your life, finding out who you are again. And perhaps you've even lost your spouse and you've been devastated by this, and you have to slowly rebuild your life. It's not easy. I've been there. And some of you may be building your lives from the bottom up, from the ground up. So if love has felt distant or it feels unattainable from where you are right now, your path is opening, but you must be willing to walk the path. Walk your walk, do the work, discard the trash, okay? Be patient. Your love is on the way. They're probably on a similar journey to you, even if you haven't crossed paths as yet. Now, this reading cannot be for everyone. It could just be for a few people. This is a collective reading. So you take what you need and discard the rest as junk. Of course, if this is not for you, it's not for you. So just dump it, okay? You will know if this reading is meant for you. And for couples, the two cards, or the three cards again, number 32 being despair, number 37 being poverty, and number 35 is the pathway. So for Virgo couples, despair and poverty can suggest struggles in a relationship, whether it has been an emotional struggle, a financial struggle, a struggle with health, or a spiritual struggle. Someone in this connection may be feeling neglected, unappreciated, not supported, or like they are carrying the weight of everything all alone without any consideration or appreciation or even recognition. Okay? There could be financial strain affecting this relationship also, as well as a loss of intimacy or even a sense of total emotional abandonment or isolation. but the pathway offers hope. And this card suggests that healing is possible if you are committed and willing to do the work, but this requires effort from both sides. Your relationship might be in a very challenging phase, and you have had a lot to deal with and a lot to cope with, and you don't know where to turn or what to do. But I must tell you that there is hope, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Relationships are not perfect. We all go through our trials and tribulations. However things may seem with other people, I've learned throughout my lifetime that very little is the way that it appears. And everyone is suffering or struggling with something. There's an old Jewish saying, and it's in Yiddish, but it says basically that if we all got to take our problems and hang them on the line outside the clothing line and get to choose which problem you wanted, it is almost a guarantee that you will take back your own problems when you get to see what other people are having to deal with. So you need to have some honest conversations. You need to be patient, and there has to be a willingness to grow together. This will be essential if you want to salvage this. If finances are a strain, working as a team rather than blaming each other is going to be the key. And if someone has got a shopping addiction, this has got to be addressed. Counseling must be sought, because this is not just going to go away on its own. What is it that you are trying to fill? What is the empty space inside of you that you're trying to fill is the question that you may need to ask. And do you place value on yourself by the things that you have? Are things making you feel more valuable, but you're drowning your relationship and your children by the heavy strain on the finances, putting you in debt and almost bankruptcy? And if emotional distance has crept in, and this is why you shop, it's time to reconnect on a soul level and find your way back to each other. And if the relationship feels like it's failing, pathway, this card, pathway, suggests that time and effort can still lead through a breakthrough. So how committed are you? How deeply do you love each other? And what are you willing to give up for what you're willing to get? What are you willing to give for what you want in return? And for some, however, pathway can indicate that the true way forward is apart if this relationship has become toxic and unsustainable. It may really be time to walk your own path toward healing. And so you may have to walk away if you've done all that you can do, and you cannot do anything more than you've done, and you are not being heard, and your concerns are not being addressed. Yes, these are heavy cards, but the pathway card brings a deeply spiritual message. Love is not lost. It never is. And healing is unfolding, even if it doesn't feel like that right now. So singles, the important lessons here, the things that you will need to learn that will guide you toward real love, is to discover yourself, to take time out to discover who you are, to understand what it is that you truly want, what is your heart's desires. And I cannot answer those questions, only you can. Those answers lie within you. In that quiet space, be still and know that I am. I am that I am. All-knowing within inside you, not out there, not with me. And for couples, you must decide whether you are willing to walk the path of healing together or separately. So Virgo, sweet Virgos, the message for you is you are not stuck. You are growing, you are evolving, and you are moving towards something better. Trust the journey. And thank you for being here today and trusting me to pull the clarifier card. With all my heart, I send you my very best wishes. I know there are better days ahead. And until the next time, take care. Bye for now.